Good morning. Good morning. And welcome to worship at the Unitarian Universalist congregation at Shelter Rock. I'm the Reverend Dr. Natalie Fenimore, and I minister to this congregation alongside the Reverends David Carl Olson and the Reverend Israel Bufardi. I welcome you to this, our very active community. We are committed to religious liberty, in thoughtful conversation, and social justice. Here, you will find a respect for your individuality and a celebration of our commonality. We believe that you need not think alike to love alike. We believe that love is at the center of all we do. I'd like you to join us for lunch after the service. There's a small fee in the social hall, but if you are a visitor today, you are a guest. Also today, if you'd like to usher at our Christmas Eve service, please join me for an orientation and conversation here in the worship room after the service. Also, I'd like you to know that that congregants may dedicate poinsettia plants on the chancel during the holiday worship services to memorialize loved ones, recognize special occasions, or celebrate the season. If you'd like to order a poinsettia for $30 each, you may do so online, or you may contact Carrie Ann directly, or see her here after the service. The deadline is this Thursday, the 21st. Also this week, please know that you are welcome for our solstice service on Thursday at 6:30 in the chapel, celebrating the winter solstice holiday, and our Fourth Friday program this Friday, also at 6:30, but in the social hall. It gives you a time to lean into what is a blue holiday, the ways in which this is not just about joy, but also often about remembrance of those that we have lost during the year and some sadness that may come to us at this time. Come into community which can support you as you have these feelings that we have in the winter. Now, next Sunday is Christmas Eve, and we will have two services, our regular 11 o'clock, as we are now, and then our evening service at 7. All are welcome. There will be many, many things happening, much, much glorious music, stories, and celebration. Please come. And I think you'll probably have to dress warmly on your way here, but we'll be lighting our candles inside the worship room as usual. So today we worship. And we invite into this space the spirit of the holidays, the spirit of Christmas, especially as seen through the eyes of children. And in this service, we hold close to our hearts the gift of children. Let us worship together.
I hear it. The holiday miracle has arrived. Now that we have had our moment of mindful meditation together, I invite you to turn your attention now to this spirit of worship today, where we will hear a story, an old story that many of us have heard before. The story of the very holy night that a child was born. A story that reminds us all that we were once all little miracles, born into this world, fragile, crying out to be loved. It reminds us all how new life can herald the arrival of hope into a weary world. And so when we tell this story today, I invite you, whether you believe it or not, to listen to what is still true for us today. To be reminded once more that hope is something we must all build for the world. For the world belongs not to us, but to generations to come. I share these words from Khalil Gibran from his treatise, The Prophet, when he said, "Your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. They come through you, but not from you. And though they are with you, yet they belong not to you. You may give them your love, but not your thoughts, for they have their own thoughts. You may house their bodies, but not their souls, for their souls dwell in the house of tomorrow, which you cannot visit, not even in your dreams." Will you enter now fully into this space with me by singing hymn number 361? Enter, rejoice, and come in. And with joy, in this season of joy, we joyfully proclaim to ourselves who we are by reciting our words of affirmation. I invite you to rise in body or in spirit. The words are on the screen. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve human need. This do we affirm and covenant with one another.
Let peace, goodwill,
You may be seated. In this season of giving, too, we look to ourselves and the difference that we might make in our world. And so we take an offering in this congregation today to support organizations that support our values and do good work in our communities. Our offering today goes to support Upholding Humanity, an interfaith organization that works to resettle refugees, creating welcome in our communities, bringing people in, making them feel valued and seen and needed. I ask you to look to yourselves and the difference that you might make in our community by supporting this worthwhile organization. You can find information for how to donate on the screen. You can drop an envelope in the box in the hall, right outside the doors to the right. Or you can scan the QR code as well.
To give shelter. One of the most basic human needs is for shelter. When people are without a shelter, without a home, they are exposed to the weather, and they may be unsafe. They may feel unloved. People without homes also don't have a place that they can call their own. Imagine if you didn't have a place where you felt it was your own. A place where you could keep all the things that are important to you. A place of shelter and comfort. A place where you can be with your friends and your family. A place where you can keep all of your favorite books and your favorite toys. Where you can cook a meal to share with your family. To be safe. To be comfortable. To be connected. I think we want that for everyone. We want everyone to have shelter, to have neighbors, to be part of a community. In the story of the first Christmas, a small family, Mary and Joseph, who were going to have a baby, were offered shelter in a stable. Just a little space, not fancy at all. And you might not think that it was much of an offer to tell someone that they could stay in the stable with the animals. But the innkeeper did make an offer of the only space that he had. And yes, it was after they had asked other people, and other people had said no. They wandered until they found one person who could offer one small space. Perhaps it didn't really cost him anything. Perhaps it wasn't really anything that required him to change his life for, but maybe that had been the case for all the other people who said no also. One person said yes, and that was enough. That made all the difference. Sometimes all we have to do is say yes to one little thing, and that could make all the difference. We can give shelter. Perhaps not a home, perhaps not a space, but we could make a shelter for someone in our hearts. We could care. We can try to be good neighbors. We can be a welcoming community. So now, as you listen to the story of Mary and Joseph and the baby, think of who you might give shelter to.
This is working. There we go. Once upon a time, there was a child sitting on her mother's lap who wanted to know about Christmas. So her mother told her about Christmas in the stable.
There was a Christmas long ago and far away.
But the child did not know about long ago and far away. She only knew her own farm and a few yesterdays. And so as the mother spoke, the child saw everything as if it were happening on their own farm, perhaps even now.
There was an evening long ago, and a man and a woman were wandering around the road in the darkness.
The child pictured the road that went beside their farm.
They had walked a long way and were tired. Now they wanted to sleep, but they did not know where to go. In all the farmhouses, the lights were out. Everyone was asleep and did not care about those who wandered on the roads. It was dark and cold. There were not even any stars out to light the sky. But by the road, there was a little stable. The man opened the door slightly and spread the light of the lantern. Perhaps there were animals in there. Do you think so?
The child knew much about stables, and she agreed that yes, there were definitely animals in there.
But the animals were already asleep. When they heard someone come through the door, they woke up and saw the two wanderers standing in the light from the lantern. But why they'd come to their stable in the evening, the animals did not know. But perhaps they could understand how cold and tired and hungry the people were. Perhaps the horse understood when the woman put her cold fingers under her mane to find the warmth there. Perhaps the cow understood when they milked her and drank her warm milk. Perhaps the sheep understood too, but when they laid down in the straw to sleep, they clustered around to give warmth.
So the night fell silently over the stable and all those who were in there. Then everything was still.
And when the night was darkest and most still, there was all at once a cry in the stable. It was the first cry of a newborn baby. At the same moment, all the stars of the night came into the sky. One was bigger and brighter than the others. It took its place right over the stable and shone with a beautiful, clear light. Now there were shepherds out that night. They were going to fetch some sheep who were still staying in the fields, though winter had come. And the shepherds saw the star rise over the stable. They saw the whole sky lightened.
Why is a star burning over our stable? The shepherds asked each other. Come, let us go see what has happened.
Along snowy paths, they hurried home with their sheep and lambs. In the stable, they found a newborn child lying in his parents' arms.
The star is shining because of the child, the shepherds whispered. Never before was a child born in our stable.
Now the child needed sleep, but there was neither cradle nor bed. Only a crib was there with hay in it for the horse to eat. They made a soft, hollow place in the hay and laid the child down. The horse stood still, his eyes gentle as he watched.
So the night passed, and the child slept in the crib. The animals and shepherds stood silently around them, and everything was quiet.
Over the stable, the Christmas star kept shining, for it was on a Christmas night that this all happened. A Christmas night long ago and far away, the very first one.
The child looked up at her mother and smiled. She did not know about long ago and far away, but now she knew the story of Christmas. The end.
Our reading is from the great religious educator Sophia Lyon-Faz. For so the children come, and so they have been coming, always in the same way they come, born of the seed of man and woman. No angels herald their beginnings. No prophets predict their future courses. No wise men see a star to show where to find the babe that will save humankind. Yet each night a child is born is a holy night. Fathers and mothers sitting beside their children's cribs feel glory in the sight of a new life beginning. They ask, where and how will this new life end? Or will it ever end? Each night a child is born is a holy night. A time for singing, a time for wondering, a time for worshiping.
Over the centuries, there have been many, many stories told about the birth of the baby, Jesus. You may not recognize this, but the story that we tell today is a kind of a mashup story. You can't actually look in one place to find the story as we know it. On one place it talks about the manger, at one place it talks about the shepherds, at one place it talks about the kings, and we put them together to make this complete story. Now there are also a lot of side stories, a lot of stories about what might have happened, what could have happened, and they sort of reflect how people felt the story played out, what it gathered from its meaning for them over time. And a lot of those stories have animals in them. You might wonder why so many stories with animals, like talking animals all the time. And part of that is, for most of the time that human beings have been around, we actually didn't live in cities, right? We lived on farms. We lived with animals. We recognized the cycles and seasons of life that connected us with nature through animals. So, when you're trying to talk about something really significant, thousands of years ago, you bring in animals. Lots of stories about animals, like Christmas in the stable. Now here's another story about an animal. It's a story of the littlest donkey. There once was a donkey who was so little, the littlest donkey, and all the other donkeys made fun of him because he was so little. Like, what can you do, little donkey? You can't carry all the work that needs to happen. You are not useful. You're kind of silly looking and useless. And so that donkey was teased all the time. Have you ever been teased? You ever been teased? You ever had anybody make fun of you? You ever had anybody think that maybe you couldn't do the things that other people did and you weren't so special, you weren't so important? That's how the donkey felt. The donkey was so sad. You know how it is when you get teased all the time, how you get really sad? And you start to think that the things people are saying about you are the truth about you. You start to think, well, maybe I am too small and insignificant. Maybe I can't do anything important. Oh, I wonder why I'm even here, because I can't do the things that all the big, strong donkeys do. And the donkey was feeling so sad. He decided that he would leave all those people and just go on a journey, go for a walk. So the donkey's going on this journey and finds himself where? On a road to Bethlehem. The donkey is on this road to Bethlehem, feeling just terrible, sad, and lonely and unimportant. And who is coming down the road but Joseph and Mary? This man and this woman, this very young and tired and pregnant woman. She's moving really, really slowly, so tired. How can she go one more step? And Joseph is just there trying to hold her up, and they're not really sure they're going to get anywhere. They've been walking around trying to find a place to settle, and no one has offered them a place, and no one has helped them. And the donkey thinks, oh, I'm so small. I'm the littlest donkey there ever was. And everybody tells me that I'm not good for anything. But you know, I'm looking at her, and she is so tired. And I think that no matter what anybody's told me, I think that I can help. So the donkey got next to Mary and nudged Mary and nudged Mary. And Mary leaned into the donkey, and Joseph helped Mary onto the donkey. And that is how they got to the stable. There, carried by the littlest donkey. So it turned out that no matter what people had said to that donkey did this wonderful and important thing. That all along, the donkey was there to do the wonderful and important thing. Because the donkey listened to its heart and not to what other people were saying, and recognized its ability to help. We can all do that, can't we? Listen to our hearts and recognize our own ability to help, no matter how small we are. There's another part of the story. Now, we talked about the stable where the baby was born and how the shepherds came to see the baby. Do you know the other characters who came to see the baby? Tell me who else you know. Yeah. The kings. The wise people came to see the baby. So when the wise people came to see the baby, they heard a secret. And that was that there was a king, another king, the king in Israel, who was afraid of the baby and wanted to hurt the baby. And the angels said the baby needed to leave Bethlehem. And again, that little donkey was there, and Mary and the baby got on the donkey, and you know where they went? Do you know where they went? They went to Egypt. Mary and Joseph and the baby became refugees, moving away from violence, moving away from where the baby might be hurt, to go to another land where other people invited them in and cared for them and kept them safe until they could go home again. We have, in our community, people who have been fleeing from violence, who are afraid in their homeland. And when we support groups like Upholding Humanity, which we do, we help to settle people who are refugees, who are afraid of their life in the land where they were born. And we want to keep them safe here until a time when maybe they could go home, or maybe they will join us and be our friends and neighbors. The little donkey kept its heart open to help Mary and Joseph when they were in need. And we, bringing in that spirit of Christmas, also want to leave our hearts open so we can help the lonely, the sad, the mothers, the children, the migrants, and the refugees. That is our story of Christmas, as it was in the beginning. It still is today. So let us, in that spirit, always have our open heart. Like the littlest donkey, no matter how small we are, we can help someone else. We can be a friend, we can give a smile, we can give shelter. Let us celebrate all of the many helpers, big and little, among us today. May it be so.
Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. Now the ground is wide, going while you're young. Sing the girls tonight and sing a sleighing song.
Just get a hotel day, 240 for his fee, and hitch him to an open sleigh, and Kirk will take the lead.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, how it is to ride in one horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, how it is to ride in a one horse open sleigh.
Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh, o'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtail ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open
Wow, that's great. Actually, I'd like to ask a special request. Since we have some time, could we all sing that together? Would everybody like to stand and sing Jingle Bells?
Yes, yes.
Dashing through the snow in one horse open sleigh, o'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on the bobtail ring, making spirits bright. Oh, what fun it is to ride and sing.
A sleighing song tonight.
Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh, o'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtail ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
Now the ground is wide, going while you're young. Take the girls tonight and sing a sleighing song.
Just get a bobtail bay, 240 for his speed, and each into an open sleigh, and Kirk will take the lead. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh, o'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtail ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open
I offer these closing words from Gary Kowalski. Children widen the circle of our being in ways that are limitless. Every baby connects us to our history. Every baby that's born links us to the future, a world yet to come, that we hold in trust. Each child that's born connects us to nature. Each child reminds us of the kinship we share with people of other lands, people who love their young, their children as purely and tenderly as we do. Each child connects us to the universe, to the holy mysteries of our own becoming. Children, widen the circle of our being in ways that are limitless. May we love, honor, and protect all children. Amen. We extinguish our chalice, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.